back again for another edition of the best Spurs Lifetime 11. And Brian Dagul is here from Tottenham on Tour. Brian, how are you, sir?
I am very, very good, Mr. Cookie and Mr. Sheriff. Delighted that we finally got around to do this. We were meant to do this in April before I went to London.
Yeah.
And then obviously London, surgery and everything. And here we are, June the 11th, or whatever day this airs, recorded June the 11th, meant to do it in April. It's like Daniel Levy doing a transfer.
Oh, well, that shot of a day.
But very excited to do this. I've been waiting to do this.
Brilliant, yeah, brilliant. Yeah, how are you, Sheriff? You okay, mate?
Yeah, all's good, man. All's good.
All's good. Ready to go. He's ready to go. Brian's ready to go. So I will say, Sheriff, can you bring the pitch up, sir, please?
I certainly will.
It's on its
way. There you go, mate.
There it is. So, Brian, we've had a chat before we started. You've picked a 3-5-2 formation.
Yep.
That's what you're happy to go with. So we'll get stuck straight in, Brian, and I will ask you, sir, who is the goalkeeper of your lifetime, please?
I first of all have to say it was really a tough choice with sorting out my team. There was a player that was on the cusp of getting in, and then as I was like, I'm going to put him on the bench, I was like, I cannot not have him on the pitch. That's why I've gone 3 at the back, because there was a defender that I just had to put in that I didn't think would be in there. So, or would have been in there, but I would have 2 left centre-backs. So I need a right centre-back for balance. But goalkeeper, my favourite Spurs goalkeeper of all time. A lot of these will be favourite players, not best players I've seen in that position.
Okay.
Paul Robinson.
Oh, lovely
Paul
choice.
Robinson in goal. I absolutely adored that guy. He was the guy, if you look at it, I think he was the last goalkeeper we had that was actually a great shot stopper and great with his feet. Okay. When Paul Robinson cleared a ball, he cleared a football. His shot stopping was incredible. Mm-hmm. Magnificent. When we bought him from Leeds, I was delighted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, did he come in with Aaron Lennon?
No, he came after. It's when Leeds were literally on the verge of crumbling.
Yeah.
We 1.2 million or something stupid, some ridiculous 1.2 or 2.1. Also,
top scoring goalkeeper, by the way.
Exactly. Not just that, the relationship he had with the Spurs fans.
Yeah.
Some of these players that are coming into my team just knew what it was to be a Spurs player or a Spurs fan. And the bond he had with them, and you saw it at Ledley King's testimonial when it was Robbo, give us a song, and he starts to stand up if you hate Arsenal. Paul Robinson, for me, was my favourite goalkeeper to watch. I loved him. It's just a shame after the England game, when he had that fall against Croatia, he had a bit of a fall from grace.
Yeah.
But for me, my favourite goalkeeper I've ever seen.
Brilliant. Fantastic, Brian. Great choice, Paul Robinson. We'll do this a bit differently today, Brian. We spoke again before. So we'll go to your number 2, your right-sided midfielder stroke defender.
Yeah, I think you're going to see so many people have this name. For me, he's one of the best right-backs Tottenham have ever had in that period, and that's Kyle Walker.
Yeah.
Very popular choice, I might add.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're looking Premier League era, he's arguably right up there with the best right-backs in the Premier League era, if not the best one with Gary Neville. He is outstanding, and what a servant he was to Spurs. That is one of the most easiest choices on this team. Apart from 2 certain players, this was one of the easiest.
Yeah.
He wasn't too bad, was he? No. Best defence in Europe for 2 seasons running.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah. And went on to have a great career at City after us.
He did. Obviously, he wanted to go back north. It wasn't clear. He was one of the ones that, yes, he may have wanted trophies, but this was mainly family reasons. He wanted to be closer to Sheffield. And after years of fantastic service and 50 million in return, fair play to him. And obviously he went on to be very, very successful. But he may have made mistakes at times, but boy, did his pace make up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without a shadow.
Yeah, fantastic, Brian. Great explanation there. Brilliant.
Very popular as well.
Yeah. We'll move over to the other side, Brian, and we'll go with your left-sided defender stroke midfielder there.
This is why it was so hard. because my favourite Spurs left back, and he'll be on my subs bench because I just could not get the player I'm going to talk about in. With that, I couldn't put him on the bench. My favourite left back at Spurs is Christian Ziege. Loved him. I don't think we had him, but he's going on the bench. Don't put Ziege in. He's going on the bench. This is the why I was toying around. I had to find a way to get Gareth Bale in.
Okay.
I'm going Gareth Bale left back.
Well, yeah.
Or left wing back. So he can listen. We all know he's better at left midfield, and that's where he should be, or on the right. I love Christian Ziege, and he's definitely one of my subs bench. But I can't have a team without Gareth Bale in it. I just can't.
Certainly not from your lifetime.
Yeah, certainly not from my lifetime. The performances that man put in is one of my biggest ever regrets. That in my whole lifetime, I never once saw Gareth Bale live, not once. Which is to me one of the biggest regret I have. But there's just no way I could not get him in the team. There was just no way.
Yeah. Magnificent player, Brian. Absolutely. Yeah. And another one, not just magnificent for us, but went on to have an absolutely wonderful career.
Outstanding. You got to remember, so many people talk about that he didn't win for 24 games and then he came on. But after that Arsenal and Chelsea game, I don't think anyone saw the progression of him being so rapid.
No.
He was terror. That Champions League season with the mic on, he terrorised teams. The final season at the Lane, he was absolutely unstoppable. He was like, I've seen players that have won leagues because of one man who's like Cantona did with United, like Omri and Bergkamp did, or other players have done down at the Filth or whatever. This man was simply unplayable. Didn't matter what you did, you could not stop him.
Now, obviously, Gareth Bale is a very popular choice so far. And there's 3 words. Taxi from Icon.
Correct.
He ruined him. He literally ended his career in that game. He was never the same.
Not only did he ruin him, you got to remember at the time, he was one of, if not the best right back in the world.
Yeah. He was up there as like one of the best right backs in the world. And Gareth Bale literally ruined him. He was never the same player after that game.
No. The home leg against Inter, I mean, he was superb in the away game, but obviously it was a hat-trick right at the death. That home game was one of the best of the best single performances I've ever seen. And that, obviously, a man will come on to in the midfield, and one of the men that are up front have had performances that alone were just, it didn't matter if you had 22 men on the pitch, you weren't stopping him.
No. Now, the thing is with Gareth Bale, the opposition, everybody knew what he was going to do. He was going to cut in and bury it, but no one could stop him.
Exactly.
Everybody knew what he was going to do, but you just could not stop the man. He was unplayable.
Correct.
That's why he got the world record move to Real Madrid.
And also, you look at this right now. Look at my wing back / whatever. Look at the pace and power down the flanks.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing it mould already, Brian. It's all right. Yeah. I can see what you're doing, mate. I can see it. We will move on from Mr. Bale, Brian. We'll move on to your number 4, which in your case is the middle of your centre backs, please.
It is, and it is the captain of the team, the man that only has one knee.
Of course.
And I mean, he is probably the most popular choice, I would imagine. He's probably made. Actually, you've got people from a lot. I mean, this man was just unbelievable. When you have Thierry Henry telling him he was his hardest opponent.
Yeah.
That. I mean, what more? You can talk about what he's done for Spurs, but when you have Thierry Henry coming out and saying Ledley King was the hardest defender I played against, that just shows how good this guy was.
Now, obviously, we're going to do the big show at the end. Put everybody's teams in, and whoever gets the most votes is going to get into the overall team of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's one name that's guaranteed to be in it already, and that's Ledley.
Damn right.
Yeah.
I don't think there's many people that haven't picked him.
No.
Damn right.
I think maybe one.
I can't remember, mate.
Maybe one didn't pick him, but yeah. Just unbelievable player. And I think, especially for people of our lifetime, Brian, and obviously a bit younger, you'll be hard pushed to be able to go and watch a player that had that quality week in, week out, pretty much guaranteed. I can't remember Ledley having many poor games for Spurs.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And like we said, the guy didn't train.
Yeah.
How can you be that good?
Yeah.
And it's like when people start a new job, you have your, your induction and your training before you do whatever the role is. How many people could turn up to work at a new job and then just go, off you go?
Yeah.
Not knowing a single, off you go, just do your job.
Yeah.
The man, honestly, an unbelievable servant, an incredible player, and just a superb. I mean, you just need to look at the Iron Robin tackle, which I like. I kind of say that was the Tottenham version of the Bobby Moore Pele tackle.
Yeah.
It's that iconic. It's that incredible. Just a wonderful player.
Yeah.
Cycling and swimming. That's all he used to do in training.
Yep.
That was it. But, oh, my goodness. Yeah. He's the king for a reason.
He is the king.
King by name, king by nature.
Yeah, without a shadow.
Brilliant. Great explanation there, Brian. We'll move on to your left-sided centre-back, Brian, please.
The Sheriff will start typing this in before I even mention his name. There he goes. My second ever favourite Spurs player. Ever. I absolutely adore Jan Vertonghen. When he was there and I was still buying stuff from the club, I used to buy the home and away shirt every year. 5 Vertonghen. I knew about Jan Vertonghen before he actually moved to us because I had a few friends from Holland that used to wax lyrical about him. And when the rumours were coming and getting stronger and stronger, they're like, don't you dare. I was like, what can I do about it? I was like, and there's a famous video with Jan Vertonghen where just before he moves to Tottenham, he's doing a press conference. I don't know if he's on Belgian duty or final parts of Ajax, and they ask about his future. And they say, where you go? And he goes, they go North London. And he goes, and then they say Tottenham. And he just does a little wink because the filth were after him as well.
Yeah.
If there's we talk about Paul Robinson, understand what it is to be a Spurs player. My God, did Jan Vertonghen get it? Did Super Jan get it? The most cultured, brilliant. I mean, he had great defensive games, got into the Premier League team of the year in his first season at centre back. Then you look at the Borussia Dortmund at Wembley left back performance.
Mm-hmm.
Just to me, like I said, for me to say he's my second favourite ever Spurs player, and you look at the players Spurs have had in my lifetime, I just really hope this man in some form comes back. He said he wants to be more board level than coaching level. Whatever Jan Vertonghen wants to do in the world of football, I just hope it's with Tottenham Hotspur. I cannot speak highly enough of this man. I idolise him. I adore him. And just a brilliant defender, incredible servant. Sorry. And just some of the performances were just absolutely staggering.
The Belgian barrier.
Well, you say the Belgian barrier. I think you're going to know who my number 6 is going to be.
Oh, all right. I wasn't going to prompt you or nothing, but
well, that was a perfect segue. Look at it.
And after that wonderful explanation of Jan Vertonghen, we will move on, Brian, to your number 6, please.
Yeah, I wonder who you think it could be.
Does his surname begin with A?
It doesn't. It ends with a D. There's a clue.
No.
I literally thought you were going to put Toby. Make it easier for yourself.
No. Well,
that's what I've done, Brian. That's what I've done.
I think that is correct.
Well,
I've had practice at spelling it.
Either way, listen. Look at that defense. Do you know what? Even if you played a 2 of either of those, it would work. No matter what you did, even kick. This is why I also had to go back 3 because I will always pick Vertonghen because of my love for him. but you can't not have Ledley King, and they're both left-siders. So I was like, how can I do it? Because I can't drop one of them. And if I had to have dropped one, because I would have been doing favourite, not best, it would have been Jan Vertonghen on the starting place. But you look at that back six, should we say? That defence has everything. And Toby, for his passes, his skill, you cannot be the best defence in the Premier League 2 years in a row.
Yeah. And
just not get a mention in my lifetime. There are others, obviously, like your number one. But there could have been others. But Toby Alderweireld, for the time he was at Tottenham, was incredible. Obviously, he was much better with Jan than when Jan left. He lost some of that because of the partnership. But Toby was just a cultured defender. Those diagonal passes were just something to behold, weren't they?
Yeah. Even I will admit, right, my love for a certain other player, right, them three there are the best three I've seen defensively for the club. Gary gets in, for me, it's heart over head with me. But he's got to be he was in my team.
I can imagine, because it's favourites.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of this wonderful show you guys are doing.
Yeah. But those three there are the best I've seen for Tottenham.
Yeah.
By some distance, I would say.
I don't know, though. When I was a kid, I saw Willie Young down at White Hart Lane. I don't know if he'd get in there, you know.
This is the thing. These are players that obviously I know of, aren't qualifiable. Qualifiable? We're going to go with it. We're going to go with it.
We'll go with it.
Yeah. So just look at that back six. You'd be a lot more confident that there'll be a clean sheet, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah,
yeah. I'm not sure about Bale at left back, but you know.
Put it this way, we got Walker's pace for covering defensively.
Yeah.
And Bale, and trust me, when you see the midfield as well, Bale's going to have plenty of time to get forward, because I don't see the midfield losing the football.
Well, to be honest, Gareth Bale will probably pick it up where he is there and just run through the whole team anyway and score.
That's what he did for the goal where he just hoofed the ball and ran past the Inter Milan, past Maicon.
Yes, so, exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Brilliant, Brian. So we will move on into your three in midfield, and we'll start with your left-sided number 7, Brian.
Yeah. Please. So what I will say with my midfield is, obviously we've just put these numbers here because it's easy to do the three, but these three are interchangeable, floatable. Number 7, Moussa Dembele.
Oh, what a player!
Obviously, he would be more deeper, but I just want to have it. Actually, maybe we'll keep it like this just for numbers. But obviously, like I said, this midfield, you have a 3, but they can change and rotate, drop deeper, whatever. Yeah. But this is just the midfield 3. I always say, watching Moussa Dembele on TV was always incredible to watch. Seeing the arm come out and seeing his strength, watching him live was a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Watching his movement, honestly, and when you see all the Spurs players that played with him, when they say who's the best player you played with at Spurs, they all say Dembele. Every single one of them, Moussa Dembele. Yes, he could have got more goals, and when we bought him, he was more advanced. Yeah. But for holding the ball up, dragging the ball forward, and then getting the ball to other people, and when you see my other 2 midfielders, honestly, this midfield has it all: creativity, brawn, flair, just all of it. And you need a bedrock. You need that hard as nails midfielder. To set the tone. I mean, look at the 3 in defence. I don't really need protection, but boy, they're going to get it from me. And I don't think many better in my lifetime will rival Moussa Dembele.
No, I think there was a stat. He never lost the ball in a league game for something like 18 months or 2 seasons. He never got dispossessed, ever. Well, I mean, he just got the ball and it was his ball and you weren't getting it.
Yeah, I remember a game against West Brom when we were going for the title the first time against Leicester. The one where Dele Alli punched the player and he then got his ban. In the first half, it was a 1-1, which pretty much was one of the final nails in the coffin. We were all over West Brom for the first 45 minutes. And Moussa Dembele's performance, he was going through people like they were just water. It's just like, just like when you're doing the breaststroke, just get away. Yeah. He was just he was just a spectacle to behold on himself. He just a classy player. Classy player.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed.
Again, another popular choice, as all yours have been.
Yeah. He has been picked a few times, Musa. Yeah, definitely.
Now, do we even need to ask who the next player is?
Just for the fans that are watching, Brian, I won't mention any names, but could you tell us who your number 8 is, please?
When I started speaking to the sheriff, he knew 2 of my 8, 2 of my 11 before even mentioned.
I've already put it in, mate.
Yeah, this man, I'm going to be careful what I do here now because this could be a 30-minute gazathon. I cannot describe to you, anyone, my love for this man. To the day I die, no matter who Tottenham Hotspur sign, no one will come close to Gaza. Not a single player, no matter who comes. Paul Gascoigne, you hear it a lot in the past where people used to say, "Oh, that player's worth the entry fee alone."
Yeah.
Well, Paul Gascoigne was that player. I was in a position during the Gaza time where there was a restaurant next to Tottenham Hotspur's Old Paxton called the Chanticleer, where Spurs did a lot of banquets. Well, my uncle was chief photographer. So I got to go to a lot of Spurs functions, a lot of Spurs games through that.
Yeah.
And do you know what? What I've missed at White Hart Lane for so long, probably since Ginola and Bow and Van der Vaart, is that player that when they get the ball, the whole crowd goes, like something's about to, like literally the expectation, the anticipation that they're about to see something magical and wonderful. And I'm not talking like a Kane diagonal pass from 40, 50 yards, or just like this guy is going to take the ball and no one has a clue what this man is going to do.
Hearing them clicks, hearing the click of the seats where everyone's standing up.
Exactly, mate. That's the perfect way to say it. Paul Gascoigne, especially during that FA Cup run, the man is a genius.
He dragged us out on his own,
mate. You got to remember as well. Obviously, people will know his addictions and everything. This is during a time where players were drinking non-stop before games, after games, not after training. He wasn't like if he came into the football world now, they'd have him in the gym working on his fitness immediately and his building his physique.
Yeah.
He just had the lot. He had the lot, and you just never knew what he was going to do. The best player at Italia 90, bar none.
Yeah.
Single-handedly dragged England to a semi-final. Yeah. The greatest player I have ever seen and will ever see wearing a Spurs shirt. Worth the entry fee alone. Met him a countless amount of times. Just people that haven't got to watch. People will say, like you, Mark. Both of you. I caught the very, very tail end of Hoddle. Like 2-3 games I might have seen, but I was 7 years old, so it didn't really register. And people go, "Oh my God, you don't know what you missed."
Yeah.
Hoddle.
Yeah.
And I understand that Hoddle was a genius. I come from a later generation, and I look at my nephews now and other people that are younger than me, like Ben Kaufman and other people. I feel sorry that they never got to watch Gaza live.
No, yeah. Well, I always say to you, Brian, now I'm obviously old enough to remember Hoddle.
Yeah.
Gaza is very close with Hoddle as the greatest I've seen at Tottenham. Very close. Hoddle, for me, it's only personally, edges it. But that's because I was about your age with Gaza, you know?
Yep.
Hoddle was an absolute genius, but Gaza is up there with him. He's not in front of him, but he's certainly level with him. But I just pick Hoddle for me. But Gaza is very close number 2 in my books.
Yeah, he's. I mean, come I say you. I mean, Gaza. I mean, even when I think about him, just thinking. We spoke about Italian 90, Euro 96.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Scotland goal. He destroyed Holland in that 4-1. Sheringham and Shearer may have got the goals, but Paul Gascoigne. Honestly, I was lucky to be at that 4-1 for Holland and the 2-1 for Scotland live. Just a genius, an absolute genius. And then you look at this midfield, especially when we do the third one. This midfield, I mean, you've got the brawn of Dembele, the absolute genius on the ball and taking players on and dribbling Gaza.
Yeah.
And then, should we go on to number 11?
And moving on, Brian.
Well, the final thing I'll say about Gaza, right, which is why he's an absolute legend. When you have a mania named after you, like Gaza, mania, not Italian 90, then you know you're not bad at football. The whole country, not just Tottenham fans, the whole of England went Gaza mad. Correct. He was everywhere. He was on the front pages of the papers for the correct reasons. He was on the back pages. He was everywhere. You couldn't turn the telly on with Summit. In Summit would be on there about Paul Gascoigne. The man's an absolute genius.
Correct.
Absolute genius.
Correct. 100%. Mark, before you put 11 in, my OCDs are going. Can you make the 11 a bit more central?
Oh.
My OCDs are really going.
Certainly.
There we go. Now there we go. There we go. Now, obviously,
tiny little bit. There you go.
There we go. There we go. Now, for my number 11, like I said, this midfield, anyone watching this, I don't want these midfield 3 in these positions. They'll be floating all over the place. But number 11 is a little Croatian magician named Luka Modric.
Well, he's not bad, to be honest.
Do you know one of the things I absolutely loved about Luka Modric is when you look at him, one of the things that you don't see in modern day football, when players want to leave the football club, like he did with Chelsea, you've seen some players throw strops and tantrums and try and force a move out.
Yeah.
Obviously, he had a conversation with a certain person that is not going to be needed in this video whatsoever and said 1 more year. And Luka Modric came back and for 6-7 months to that season was a model professional and unstoppable. He is a little magician. He was, I mean, we saw what he went on to do at Madrid. Mm. It's just a shame we're not kind of in the position we are now where we wouldn't need to sell him, so to speak. The guy was a genius.
Ballon d'Or winner.
Yeah. Multiple Champions League and La Liga champion.
Yeah.
Just, you know what, when we signed him, I watched his first ever game against Celtic. Not live, it was in one of those pre-season tournaments. And he was playing out wide. But every time he got the ball, he's so small and doesn't look that he just went past players or had the skill and the turn of feet that he'd just lose players. Players would be marking him, and then 1 minute he's gone. Passing range, phenomenal. Just a wonderful look what he's done with Croatia.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Look what he's done with Croatia. Luka Modric, there's many ways, like obviously Dembele, genius at holding the ball up, shrugging people off, getting the ball forward. Modric, eye for a pass, genius. Brilliant change of direction. Brilliant at covering the ground, genius. Gaza, I've got 3 geniuses in the midfield. They all can float around and do whatever. They all love to put in a tackle. All could be creative. That for me, that could you? I mean, I'm sure everyone says in these videos, could you imagine if this team actually got to play in their prime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people think they've got the best team, Brian.
Yeah.
Most people say, "Look at this." I mean, can you see this winning the league? You know what I mean?
Everyone can say that, and everyone's going to say this is the best team. Blah blah blah. They could win it. But when you look at it, that's personal choice. And also you got to remember, a lot of people, I would imagine, like you said, have all got Ledley King or have all got Gaza. So you're already like, well, you can't do it. Take one out, but yeah, I mean, I love my back five, but boy, do I love my back three more. I mean, my midfield three. My God.
Yeah.
It's not looking too bad so far.
Not looking too shabby, is it?
No.
And so we will move on to your forwards, Brian.
Yep.
We'll move on. We'll
So
start with your number 10, Brian. Go on.
Our record goal scorer.
Who's that, Brian? Oh, yeah.
Mr. Harry Kane. He watching him is just like to think he's one of our own. All those loans that he would have had. And then when he got thrown in, just to burst, as everyone said, burst onto the scene, like Mika Richards says, could score every single goal imaginable. Do you know what amazed me the most with Harry Kane's finishing is, when people say if you hit the side netting, the goalkeeper can't save it. If you go back and watch Harry Kane's goals for Tottenham, you will be amazed how many hit the side netting.
Yeah.
Don't hit the back of the net, as it literally in the side netting. His eye for goal was outstanding, was magnificent. And do you know what? Well, a lot of people rate it now, but his passing ability, his dropping deep to get the ball and seeing a pass was incredible. It's like when I thought of strikers, I thought I've got to have two, because I want one to be able to do maybe dropping deep and spraying the ball about and whatever. Yeah. For a devastating finisher. Harry Kane is a devastating finisher.
Yeah.
Devastating. Yeah. But he will be the one dropping deep when we get onto my final one.
Yeah, but it was only Jose Mourinho that brought that out of him. He never used to do that, did he? Before he did it a little bit, but Jose really
coming out with Poch. It started coming out with Poch. Yeah. I remember him spraying the ball all over the place at Wembley. Yeah. At Wembley, there's certain games, Stoke, Everton, where he'd just come deep, pick the ball up. During his time at Wembley, the passing for me really became, oh, wait a minute, he's added this to his game.
Yeah.
What a ruthless finisher. And I don't know anyone of my age that didn't get to see Jimmy Greaves. Obviously, people that got to see Jimmy Greaves, I completely understand.
Yeah.
How can people say the record goal scorer of this football club doesn't get into your team as a striker? So I had to go for him.
Obviously, another very popular choice.
Yeah.
But there's two words I always say when Harry Kane comes out in one of these: ultimate professional. Ultimate. You look always on the back pages, never the front pages.
Yep.
Takes football very seriously, settled family life, never does anything you could even question him about. He is the ultimate professional. And if kids want a role model, there's your role model.
Always on the back page, never on the front.
Yeah.
Never a hassle, never a problem. Family man, goes back to his high school sweetheart and his kids.
Yeah.
Just, like you said, a model professional.
Yeah. If kids want anyone to look up to, Harry Kane. Without a shadow of a doubt. That's how you, I'm not saying, but that is how, especially in this modern day, that's how you've got to behave when you're professional.
Yep. Brilliant. Great comments, chaps. And on that note, we'll move on to your number 9, your striker, Brian, please.
He was only at this football club 18 months. Had one season where he was absolutely devastating. One of the first foreigners to come to the Premier League. At the time, one of the best strikers in the world.
I think I know what you mean.
No one could believe when we signed him with Alan Sugar on a yacht. Wunderbar Jurgen Klinsmann. That was the season before I had my season ticket. But the first season where I went to away games, I had a Spurs membership and went to most of the games. Now, when Jurgen Klinsmann joined Tottenham Hotspur, it broke the internet. The internet really weren't a thing. It just everywhere went nuts, and I do mean nuts.
Yeah.
It all came about. He's a diver. He's a cheat. He's this.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most clinical, devastating, incredible strikers I've ever witnessed.
Yeah. And can I say, the last player that Tottenham signed that was actually in the peak of his powers and in his prime.
Yep.
You can argue with Van der Vaart, but in my opinion, Van der Vaart had just gone over the top. Klinsmann is the last player that we signed, and I said, wow, look what we've done. Because he was devastating in the 94 World Cup, and that's when he come in.
Yep.
Peak of his powers, that man. And when we signed him, I went, wow.
Yeah.
What a partnership with Teddy.
And you know what? He came in and embraced the Premier League.
Yeah.
He came in. If anyone got to see him, I went. This is when you could go to Spurs training ground when it was at Copdale in Mill Hill. Always, everyone badgering him after training, like the fans that were there. Always had time. Always travelled in the same Volkswagen Beetle. Yeah. Very humble, but put him on the football pitch. And the partnership he had with Teddy was like unbelievable.
Yeah, crazy.
But yeah, I always say, if Jurgen Klinsmann and Teddy Sheringham had come together at Spurs at the same age, but had stayed for the same amount of time as Son and Kane, I think Teddy Sheringham and Jurgen Klinsmann would smash all the records.
Yeah.
Going like Kane and Son are the most prolific Premier League double act. If they had had the same time, Sheringham and Klinsmann, I think Harry Kane and Son would have been chasing them. But Jurgen Klinsmann, the type of finish, the type of goal, like Harry Kane, I would say with these two, if they were through 1-on-1, you know when people say, "Oh, you might as well turn around because it's a goal and go back to the halfway line." This man was absolutely devastating, and like I said, in 1994 for Tottenham Hotspur, who he joined when we thought we had a 12-point deduction out of the FA Cup, no European football. He still came to Tottenham.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
And obviously he left because he wanted to go back to Bayern and win a title, which he did, and fair play to him. But the impact that man had in 1 year at Spurs and on the Premier League.
Yeah.
And then came back to help us stave off relegation because of his love for the club.
And the thing I'll say about him is he got what it meant.
Immediately.
Loves the club. I mean, let's face it, before we signed him, Tottenham meant nothing to him. But he come in and immediately he got what it meant to the fans. He got everything about the club. He still loves the club now.
Yeah.
You know, unbelievable player. Well, I agree with your strike partnership. Klinsmann is the last player that we signed, and I said, wow, look what we've done. He just gave you that excitement.
Well, can you imagine Kane and Klinsmann feeding off Gaza and Modric?
Yeah.
So, man,
and obviously Bale flying down the wing, mate.
And that defence as well.
I'm damn happy.
We're winning everything, man. We're winning everything.
Like everyone said, my team's winning the lot.
Yeah. Yeah. It's when you look at it, Brian, and it's the same for pretty much everyone's team. You look at it and you think, wow,
yeah,
you know, if you could put that out there, you're winning everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fantastic team, Brian. I'll just ask you, are you happy with your team? And if you are, Mark, I'll lock it in and take it down, and we'll get on to your subs.
As you'd say in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, final answer.
Oh, final answer. There we go. It is gone.
Brilliant. Fantastic, Brian.
That's all stored away with the rest of the... Is evidence the wrong word? The rest of the results.
Results. Fantastic stuff, Brian. Right, so we'll move on to your substitutes, Brian. You can just run through them for your 5 subs.
Yeah, this is me winging it right now because I completely forgot about the subs. The goalkeeper.
Yeah.
It's a toss-up between Eric Torsfett and Hugo Lloris.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just going to have to shade with Hugo.
Okay.
Just going to have to shade with Hugo because of longevity. I know he didn't win a trophy like Torsfett did, but Hugo Lloris on his day was magnificent and in a team that should have won trophies.
World Cup winner.
World Cup winner. Yep. I will go number first substitution. Like I said, I couldn't put him in the starting 11, so he's definitely going in the sub bench. Christian Ziege.
Yeah.
Christian
Just for
Ziege.
the goal against Arsenal, he deserves a.
Mate, Joe, I really thought he was I did love him. I'm going to do all my subs are going to be my favourites, not the best. People I had soft spots for. Yeah. So Christian Ziege.
Yeah.
Tom Huddleston. Tommy Huddleston.
Everyone had a soft spot for Tommy.
Mate, honestly, I think he was one of the most underrated players we've had. His passing range, I put on par with Hoddle and Kane.
Yeah.
His passing was that good. And he had a little bit of a powerful shot. Just a little,
just slightly.
If he hit you, you're going to Mars. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So we've got Ziege, Huddleston. I need a defender and I need a striker. Defender. I am going to put. Joe what? Defender. I am going to put Mark's favourite in. I'm going to put Gary Mabbott in.
Why not?
Correct answer.
I'm
not any influence on this.
I've got to put him in. And number 5. Oh Jesus! It's Ginola or Teddy Sheringham.
Oh, what a choice!
Oh.
And I'm going to have to go Teddy. I'm going to go Teddy, and the reason why I'm saying that is I'm thinking if Christian Ziege has to come in at left back, Bale can go forward as a left-sided. Yeah. Whereas if if Klinsmann or Kane needs to come out,
but Sheringham.
So Sheringham. So that's my sub bench. Lloris, Ziege. Actually, if I'm going with favourites, take out Ziege, take out Lloris and put in Torsvet. Put in Eric the Viking. If I'm doing it just favourites, as in favourites of mine, as in not better players. Yeah. Torsvet, Ziege, Mabbott.
Yeah. Huddleston.
Sheringham.
Okay.
Those are all favourites. The people that are watching this, they are favourites, not best. Favourites.
Yeah.
That's fine, Brian. That's fine. So 2 more questions, Brian.
Yep.
That's all we've got to give you. 2 quick ones. Who would be the captain of your lifetime team?
Oh, Ledley. He's only got one knee.
You've surprised me there, Brian. I was expecting Jan or Gaza.
You look at that, but you need captain mentality.
Oh, yeah.
You need someone to lead the team, and he does. If it was pick your favourite, then Gaza would get it all day long. But Gaza, believe me, can you imagine Gaza as captain back in his day? I wouldn't even want to know what that is. So, it has to be Ledley.
Great choice, mate. And one more. Who would be the manager of your lifetime team, Brian?
Thomas Frank. Only joking. He's not. People know my love for him. He's not. He's not getting as much. If you did this in a few years, I probably would.
He hasn't even started yet.
Yeah, I said, but there's one manager easily.
I got a feeling I know.
You know who it is. It's the man that I adore. The man
got no hair.
That I love.
He's got no hair.
He's got no hair. We don't care. Martin Jol. He built something that everyone else inherited and started. And if he could have had this team and said, right, let's go, attacking football played, the whole reason that I am how I am about a certain person is because of the treatment of Martin Jol. My favourite manager ever, and that includes Pochettino, by a country mile. I love Martin Jol. So that was probably as easy as Vertonghen and Gaza.
Yeah.
My love for that man.
Yeah.
He started getting us in the right direction, didn't he?
Correct.
He was the first one. Harry took it on after him, then Poch. But he was the first one to elevate us from mid-table to competing.
Also, I obviously, as you guys know, excuse me, I was with Ben from We Are Tottenham TV, and I got to meet the great man himself and spend some time with him. When he was doing a Q&A to the guests that were there to watch what game was it, Frankfurt game, you could hear the love for Tottenham.
Yeah.
Still to this day, He is so, but he bleeds blue and white. He is really, I just love that man. Do you know what? When someone goes, I would love this man back on the board immediately. He's such a football guy, and he's such a Tottenham guy. Easiest, Gaza, Vertonghen, Martin Jol, the easiest decisions in this entire thing.
Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic,
Absolutely
Brian.
Brilliant.
Yeah, great 11 you got there. Great subs. Picked a great manager and obviously a great captain in Ledley King.
There we go. It was a pleasure doing it.
Yeah. Fantastic stuff, Brian. It's been a pleasure having you on. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Everyone,
Thank
make sure you get over to Brian at Tottenham on Tour.
Links will be in the description. And
yeah, the link will all be there. It will all be there for you to see. Please make sure you subscribe to us and hit the notification bell for this series. It'll be going on for a few weeks, 5 o'clock every day. Videos will be dropping. Once again, Brian, thanks so much for being
pleasure,
on.
boys.
We appreciate it. And I'll let you do the outro, Brian.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's a great 11, but doesn't matter what day of the week it is, what time of the day it is. And as always, Levy out.